Hello, my name is Thomas Kramer. Today, my lesson will be Pennsylvania Park Peloton. I'm a recreation park and tourism management undergraduate at Penn State University. Today's goals will be learning about the importance of bike safety and maneuvering on the street and paths, followed by trail recommendations. Today's lesson objectives include identifying what the proper safety procedures of handling and maneuvering a bike involves, being able to tell the difference between bikes and which terrains are appropriate for certain bikes, understanding signage, rules, and parking when biking at a DCNR park, and learn when it is unsafe to ride a bike. And last, be able to use biking vocabulary and terms for an end of presentation quiz that you'll see throughout the PowerPoint. So let's talk about bike etiquette. Whenever you're at either one of our parks, whether it's Washington Crossing Historical Park or Nockamixon, we want to make sure that whenever you ride on open trails, don't go off trail and disturb the park's wildlife. Leave no trace. This includes trash or belongings when you are biking. Try to bike controlled, not reckless, where you could injure yourself or others when biking. Yield appropriately, follow proper signage throughout the park. When on your bike and if you encounter an animal, simply keep doing your normal biking routine and plan ahead accordingly to your trip. So some of the DCNR trails and mountain bike trails in the state of Pennsylvania, there are many to choose from. Today, I'll be discussing about Nockamixon in particular. They have advanced bike trails and they can be found at Nockamixon. Currently, right now, it is closed for the season, but they currently have a mountain biking Facebook group that anybody can join. And I encourage you all to join if you have any questions. Trail conditions are maintained by a volunteer group, so make sure to respect the path. Down below is a link where you can go to access Nockamixon information regarding bike information. You can simply click on the link and it'll take you to a web page where you can also see a small little link on their page called ridenox.com. You click on that and you get more deep information regarding trails and nice mountain biking pictures. There's a PDF on there. So here is the PDF to the right, right here. That's a PDF that you'll be finding on their ridenox.com. The map on the left is a map of Nockamixon. So that's what like the interstates where you can drive to get to Nockamixon. But on the right here is just a picture of a few of the trails for the mountain biking itself at the park. There's a 2-mile trail linked with Nockamixon though, and it starts the eastern end is where you park, and the trail begins at the marina, which is facing out the lake, and it's a very beautiful view. And then near the western part of the trail, you'll see a waterfall, and the pond is near there. So it's really neat to see. And once again, there's a link here attached where you can gain that information too, which is really neat. So now we're going to be discussing Washington Crossing Historic Park. There are some areas when riders must pay attention to signage, be respectful, and walk their bikes. So right now, they included new signage throughout the park. It symbolizes you need to walk your bike at certain locations. So just please be respectful about that and follow the guidelines that they have instilled into their park. This in turn helps provide a better experience for those people who are walking as part of the Washington Crossing Historic Park interpretive tours. And down below, once again, I attached a link to biking at Washington Crossing. We'll get into a little bit more details about this coming up. So here's a map of Washington Crossing Historic Park. Here's the upper section off to the left here. This is the New Jersey side right here. And there's only a 2.5 mile path. And I'll be mainly discussing the lower section because that's more of the Pennsylvania side that I want to sort of touch on. So if you follow my cursor here, here's the lagoon right here. There's a 4.5 mile strip of canal right here where you can access a bike path, and that attaches from Washington Crossing to Yardley. And this is a really neat path. I've been here actually myself. My grandparents used to live in Washington Crossing, and we would always go walking or especially biking, and it was really neat to see. So just please be respectful about whenever you encounter any of the patrons, or just be aware of that. So type of bikes you may see when adventuring the parks. Number one, road bike. A road bike is lightweight, efficient. It bikes with drop handlebars and narrow tires for recreational riding mostly. This bike is made for road biking or continuously flat portions of road along with hills, as long as the bike stays on smooth surface. The small thin tires are made for speed. Mountain bike, on the other hand, is rugged bikes with flat handlebars and wide knobby tires for riding narrow trails. You'll see this mainly more at Nakamixon, or maybe along the trail, along the towpath at Washington Crossing, because you can also ride it for leisure. Bikes can also be ridden for leisure as well, like I said before. So fat bike. So the difference between a fat bike and a mountain bike is just their tires. So fat bike tires, they're a 3.8-inch wide tire, which is pretty wide. It's really thick. It's mainly used for flotation or traction, often for sand, snow, or trails. These tires are excessively big compared to other bikes. So you may see these once again at Nakamix, and people may bring their bikes with fat tires, or you may see them actually at Washington Crossing Historic Park. You never know, but it's good to know these certain types of bikes if you ever want to buy one. Tandem bikes. Tandem bike are bicycles built for 2 or more riders, and thus are often built with reinforced frames and components to handle extra weight. You'll see these mainly on the towpath. You won't see these in Nakamixon. Lastly, we'll talk about recumbent bikes. We'll see these on the towpath along the canal. In contrast to a traditional bike where the rider sits upright, recumbent bikes puts riders in a reclined position that some people find more comfortable. You mainly find these in aged riders or injured riders. Bike safety. Be safe. Don't forget your helmet. This is really important. Helmets must be worn level and snug on top of the head, with the chin strap securely fastened. When inside the parks, please be considerate of other trail users. Use your verbal signaling or your hand signaling to let people know that you're either passing, but stay on the right. Now we're going to have a lesson quiz here. Number 1, true or false, trail conditions are maintained by a volunteer group at Washington Crossing Historic Park. It's actually false. It's Nakamixon. Number 2, recumbent bikes are useful for older individuals or individuals that have sustained any minor or major injuries. This is true. Next, Nakamixon offers mountain bike trails. It's true. And lastly, it is okay for individuals to ride closed trails and to not yield to pedestrians. This is false. You need to yield to pedestrians, and also you need to ride open trails. Here are some references to where I got my information. Thank you again. My name is Thomas Kramer. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. Enjoy.